Hi, I'm Joe Lescota, Director of Dealer Development for the National Independent Auto Dealers Association. Now, our purpose today is to take you through a step-by-step process of purchasing a used vehicle. Let's start with your used car search. Now, I'm frequently asked, is buying a used car really smarter than buying a new car? Well, yes and no. It depends. It depends on you. You know, for close to 15 million individuals a year, having that new car smell and the assurance of a new car warranty is the only way to go. And at the same time, over 39 million individuals a year prefer to take advantage of the fact that, on average, a typical new vehicle loses 15 to 30% of its value the moment it's driven off a new car lot, but yet still manages to run extremely well way beyond the 100,000 miles on the odometer. With over 500 different models of vehicles to choose from, where do you begin your search for a used vehicle that's right just for you? Well, of course, there are several considerations, such as price. What can you afford to pay? What type of vehicle are you interested in? For example, 2 doors or 4 doors, car or truck, EV, hybrid model, and so on. Don't forget, you also have to consider something I'd like to call cost. There's price, that's what you pay for the vehicle. Then there's cost. That's what you pay to drive it every day, every month, and every year. Remember, it's no fun having an awesome looking vehicle only to have it sit in front of the house because you can't afford the insurance on it or the gasoline to operate it. Like most consumers, you're probably going to begin your search on the internet, on sites such as autotrader.com or eBay, as well as many others. Or you begin your search easily enough online by simply Googling used cars and let the search begin. Going to a third-party website such as autotrader.com might be a little more user-friendly, as third-party websites take you directly to specific used vehicles with lots of photos. Your journey on the internet will take you to the front door of private owners and franchise dealers like Ford, Toyota, Chevy, Chrysler, and many other manufacturers, as well as independent used vehicle dealers who specialize only in the sale of used vehicles. We'll look at each of these in a little more detail later on. It's really important to understand the importance of selecting the right place, person, or resource you're going to make that final purchase from. There are over 17,000 franchise new car dealers and over 35,000 independent used car dealers throughout the U.S. But first, let's talk a little bit more about selecting the right vehicle for you. Not every vehicle manufactured turned out to have a great reputation for reliability, for safety, or mechanicability. So it's essential that you do your homework before you lay your hard-earned money down on the table. It's highly unlikely that a vehicle will be built that is truly perfect in every way. But unfortunately, there are some models that have had more than their fair share of recalls by a particular manufacturer. A recall is when a manufacturer recognizes that one of their model cars has a serious or minor flaw, and they're recalling it back to correct the problem. Usually the recall adjustment is made at a new car dealership. And while some recalls can be as minor as replacing a screw in a dashboard, others can be much more serious, such as a brake issue. You'll want to know about those before you say, "I'll take it." Now, by the way, you may want to check out fueleconomy.gov to check fuel ratings on your selected vehicle. Oh, and don't forget about insurance. Insurance requirements will vary from state to state, so you'll have to check with your state to see exactly what's required. But this is the one item you won't want to cut corners on. In all cases, you'll be required to carry liability insurance, which will protect you when an accident is your fault and you have to pay for damages to someone else's property. Many young people make the mistake of only carrying their state's minimum required amount of liability insurance when in fact their liability could end up costing far more after a serious accident. Some states may also require you carry medical coverage, just in case you or any of your passengers need medical assistance in an accident. Be sure to check with your insurance agent. And finally, there's collision and comprehensive coverage, which covers damage done to your vehicle from an accident or any other non-accident cause. Depending on the total value of the vehicle you choose, this may not be cost-effective coverage, so be sure to discuss this thoroughly with your insurance agent. You have to keep in mind, in many cases, the amount of insurance you pay each month will depend on the type of vehicle you end up purchasing. For example, the insurance premium on a four-wheel drive truck can be much higher than that of a two-wheel drive truck. you might want to call your family's insurance agent and discuss your vehicle's choices with them well before making that final purchase decision. I don't want to leave out the issue of mechanical ability. Unless you're going to be doing your own service work on your newly purchased vehicle, you want to select a vehicle you can afford to maintain. And by the way, it's no simple task to do your own repairs these days when you consider there are over 13 different onboard computing systems on today's cars. For example, a BMW might cost you quite a bit more to maintain than a standard GM model car or truck. Check websites like consumerreports.org and edmunds.com. And finally, there's a topic of resale value. This may or not be an issue for many used car buyers, but it's important to others. Some vehicles hold their value better or longer than others. This will have an impact on you and your wallet should you decide to trade your used car in at a later date for a newer used car 3 or 4 years down the road. The higher the resale value, the less you'll pay in monthly payments on your next vehicle if you use your vehicle for a trade-in down the road. For example, that BMW might have a higher maintenance cost than a typical GM car, but it could have a higher resale value than a GM vehicle, although this may not be always the case. So by now I'm hopeful I've convinced you that you really must do your homework before heading out the door with your hard-earned money in hand to buy that used car you've always dreamed about.